There was a farmer and he had a son, and I have two boys, 12 and 15. He had a son maybe a little bit younger, about 11 or 12, and he wondered what that son was going to be when he grew up. And this is something you look at, I look at my sons, I say, you know, how are they going to turn out? And he wanted to know what his son was going to be, and so he went to the pastor. Par is the word they use around here, but we'll call him a pastor. He went to his pastor and said, "Pastor, I have this boy, he's about 10 years old. I want to know, what do you think he's going to be when he grows up?" And the pastor scratched his beard and thought for a while. He said, "You know, there's something I learned in seminary school. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll take an apple, we'll take a silver dollar, we'll take a Bible, we'll put it in a room, we'll tell him to go in, and we'll see what he does. If he picks up the apple and eats it, we know he's going to be a farmer. If he puts the silver dollar in his pocket, he's going to be a banker. If he's reading the Bible, he's going to be a pastor." And the farmer thought, yeah, well, that makes sense. So they picked a day, they put the apple and the silver dollar and the Bible into a room, and then they led the boy into it, closed the door, waited a couple minutes, went back, and there was a little boy. He'd taken the silver dollar, put it in his pocket. He was reading the Bible and eating the apple. All right, well, the farmer turned to the pastor and said, "Well, okay, what now?" The pastor scratched his beard and said, "I think he's going to be a politician." And I tell this story because it has a kind of earthy humor to it that you find in Boone Steele. This is also the kind of humor, oftentimes with a point, that you find at Groundhog lodges. I also tell this because I have a lot to cover, and I don't want to be like a politician, say so much that I haven't said anything, so I'll try to keep myself focused. I also tell this because I think Harder's writing leads into as many things that were going on in the Groundhog lodges. But that story actually was, though Harder wrote it in Pennsylvania German, that was part of a much larger kind of story you would have found in English language papers. And one of the things I think you have to understand about the Pennsylvania Germans and the Groundhog lodges and many things they do, they are Pennsylvania German, they're somewhat different, but they're also part of a much broader American process. And I think I'll try to show how they're both uniquely Pennsylvania German, but also very clearly part of a broader American process.